The 51st Congressional District happens to be where I live. All my friends and everything went through the schooling system in this area. You know, while I was going through school, I found out that there's a lot of ethnic groups of people that live in this community. And we're all looking for jobs. I'm speaking about Caucasian people, Filipinos, Mexicans, Guatemalans, even the Native American people are in your district. What plans do you have for bringing jobs to our communities?
You know, that's a very, very good question. But let me just digress a little bit when you started talking about all these diverse ethnic communities. You know, I taught school in San Diego City schools. And when I used to talk to my kids, I used to say, you know, we have several things in common. First of all, we're all Americans. Now, naturally, some of the kids would raise their hands and say, no, I'm Mexican, I'm African. You know, and the Mexicans, and I would say to them, look, to be in our school system, you have to be an American citizen. Otherwise, you don't deserve to be in our schools because we're taxpayers and we're paying for this. And immediately their hand would shoot back up in the air and they would say, Mr. Michael, don't throw me out. I'm an American, I'm an American. And I said, that's right. And I said, you see that flag hanging up over there in the corner, the American flag? That flag represents each and every one of us equally people, no more and no less than any of us sitting here. That flag does not care whether you're black, brown, tan, white, or Native American. It doesn't care whether you're rich or poor. It doesn't care whether you worship one God, many gods, or no gods. And it really doesn't care one whit whether you're educated or uneducated. Now, fortunately for you as a school teacher, and having this being my second career, I care very much that you're educated because you're the future of our country. I'm no longer the future. You people are the future. You know, so it's important that you grow up and you learn good values and you take them out into society and you become model citizens. And the other thing is, I often hear people talk about what I call hyphenated Americans, such as African American, Mexican American, Irish American. And that's incorrect. You have to learn to speak that you're an American of a certain descent, American of Mexican descent, American of African descent, or myself, American of Irish and German descent. Think about this. When you guys hit 18 years old and you're able to travel outside the boundaries of the United States and you start traveling around the world, and someone asks you, where are you from and who are you going to stand there and tell them that you're a Mexican American or an African American or Vietnamese American? No. What you're going to say is that you're an American and you're going to be proud to say that. So start learning it now. Because once you start describing yourself as a hyphenated American, you've already pigeonholed yourself into a tiny little slice of life. You've already accomplished what other people are trying to do, to diminish yourselves. But why should you yourself contribute to that? Don't help them. You know, when they ask you who you are, tell them, I'm an American. And when they repeatedly ask, then tell them, I'm an American of African descent, or I'm an American of Mexican descent. That's your heritage, that's your ethnic background. Mm-hmm. So stand up for yourselves. And I realize that down here in Southeast San Diego, we have large ethnic populations, Americans of African and Americans of Mexican descent. And because you don't get to see the larger view of the world, you tend to get a myopic view, a reduced vision of the world, until you start to leave the greater San Diego area. And because of that, you have like a jaundiced view of the world. But let me tell you, the United States, the strongest thing that we have in the United States is immigration. This is the strength of the United States. Many cultures that come to the United States, and the biggest thing is assimilation. We want you to become part of the largest melting pot in the world. That is the greatest strength of the United States. We're not like other nations around the world. Compare and contrast. We used to talk about that a lot in school. Compare the United States to another country. Let's say compare the United States to, let's say, Iraq, where I was. Okay? You know basically what the United States is all about. It's a huge melting pot. We have everybody here. We have so many different ethnic populations. But you know, you go to Iraq, everybody's the same. They all practice the same religion. They all basically dress the same. They all talk the same language. They all eat the same food. Think about this. Do we do that in the United States? No, we're a hodgepodge of everything. You know, in the LA school system, there's probably 145 different languages that are spoken. So the strength of the United States is this multicultural diversity that we all assimilate, and not to say that you totally lose your cultural heritage, but we all contribute. You keep your traditions, but we all become Americans. That's the strength of the United States.